There's a strange thing that happens when you've been saving for retirement for long enough. You keep contributing month after month, year after year, but eventually the habit becomes automatic. You're saving because you've always saved, not because you actually know whether you still need to. Most people assume they'll be doing this until the day they stop working. They believe retirement is a finish line you grind toward for decades, and the only safe approach is to keep saving just in case. But there is a moment, a real, measurable moment, where the math flips. A moment where your portfolio becomes strong enough that your future no longer depends on squeezing out one more contribution. A moment where saving is no longer necessary, it becomes optional. And the truth is, many people reach this moment years earlier than they realize. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how to identify that point. The point where your money can carry the load, your plan is already funded, and you finally get permission to stop living like everything depends on your next contribution. Once you understand this, your entire relationship with work and money starts to feel lighter. If this topic hits home already, tap the like button so YouTube knows to show you more content like this, and subscribe if you're ready to make smarter, calmer financial decisions this year. Now, let's get into the first sign you've reached that turning point. Section 1. The crossover point. When growth outpaces your effort. In the early years of saving, everything depends on you. You deposit money every month, you watch your balance inch forward, and it always feels like you're the one dragging the whole thing uphill. Your contributions are the engine, and the growth is barely noticeable. But then, slowly and quietly, a shift happens. Your portfolio reaches a size where the growth it produces in a single year becomes larger than the amount you're adding. Maybe you contribute $10,000 and the market gives you $12,000 or $15,000 in return. That's the moment everything changes. This is called the crossover point. It's the point where compounding officially takes over the heavy lifting. And the psychological shift is just as important as the mathematical one. You stop feeling like every dollar depends on you. You stop worrying that missing a month will ruin your future. You start realizing your portfolio has become a real, independent engine. This is the first signal that you are moving toward the stage where saving is no longer required, because your money is finally capable of growing faster than you can feed it. Section 2. The rule of replacement. When your portfolio covers your target gap. Here's the simplest way to understand when saving becomes optional. Retirement isn't about hitting a certain age, it's about covering the lifestyle you want. You have what you plan to spend each year, and you have the income you'll get automatically, like Social Security or a pension. The difference between those two numbers is your gap. That gap is what your portfolio has to support. And this is the moment that matters, when your investments can safely cover that gap on their own. Once your portfolio can generate the amount you need without relying on new contributions, the pressure to save every month disappears. You're still allowed to save if you want to, but it's no longer the thing holding your retirement together. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. You move from building your retirement to maintaining it. You stop feeling like every missed contribution sets you back. And for the first time, the math starts working for you instead of demanding more from you. Section 3. The funded confidence zone. This is where the stress finally starts to fade. Every retiree has a funded ratio, even if they've never heard the term. It's simply a measure of how much you've already secured compared to how much you actually need. And here's the part nobody tells you. Once you cross a certain range, your odds of a successful retirement shoot upward, while the benefit of saving more drops sharply. Think of it like a confidence zone. When your funded ratio is below the target, you feel the pressure. Every dollar matters. Every contribution feels essential. But the moment you enter the confidence zone, something changes. The math starts showing that you're not just on track, you're ahead. Your portfolio is big enough, resilient enough, and supported by enough guaranteed income that the future isn't resting entirely on your next deposit. People who reach this point often don't realize they're already safe. They keep saving out of habit. They keep worrying because they never updated the scoreboard. But inside the confidence zone, saving becomes a choice, not a requirement. The heavy lifting is already done, and the risk of running out becomes incredibly low. Once you're here, the real question shifts from, how much more do I need to save, to what am I actually saving for? Section 4. The quiet milestone most people miss. There's a moment in your financial life that almost nobody notices when it happens, but it changes everything. It's not when you hit a certain age, and it's not when you reach a round number on your investment account. It's the year your portfolio grows more from market returns than from your own contributions. Most people don't recognize it when they cross this line because it doesn't feel dramatic. There's no alert on your phone. No advisor calls you. The statement just comes in, and the increase looks bigger than usual. But this is the milestone that signals a shift in power. Up until this point, you were the engine. Your savings pushed the whole plan forward. But once your investment growth outpaces what you're adding, it means the portfolio has officially taken the lead. The machine is generating more than you can feed it. That's the moment when saving becomes less critical, not because you're done, but because you're no longer carrying the full weight by yourself. Compounding is now doing most of the work in the background while you live your life up front. Most people miss this milestone because they're busy, they're stressed, or they still feel like they're behind. But recognizing it is important because it tells you something life-changing. You're no longer building your retirement alone. Your money has finally joined the team. Section 5. Lifestyle alignment. When your spending stabilizes. One of the most overlooked signs that you can finally slow down on saving has nothing to do with charts or formulas. It has to do with something far more grounded, your lifestyle becoming predictable. In your 20s and 30s, your spending swings all over the place. New jobs, new cities, new relationships, new responsibilities. Every change reshapes your budget. But somewhere in your 40s or 50s, life begins to settle. You understand what you actually spend in a normal year. You know which costs are essential and which ones are just noise. Your big expenses, housing, transportation, kids, stop moving so dramatically. And this stability matters. Retirement planning becomes far more accurate when your lifestyle stops shifting every 12 months. It gives you a clearer sense of what your future truly costs and how much your portfolio actually needs to support. For many people, this is the moment they discover they're much closer to enough than they realized. When your spending stabilizes, the financial picture becomes sharper. You can compare your real lifestyle to the income your portfolio can reliably produce. And that's when a surprising realization appears. You may not need to save at the pace you've been forcing yourself to maintain. It's not about lowering standards or living small. It's about finally seeing your life clearly. Once your lifestyle has a steady rhythm, you can measure retirement needs with far more confidence. And often, you find that the heavy lifting is already done. The biggest misunderstanding in personal finance is the belief that you'll feel ready for retirement one day. That some moment of certainty will hit you, and you'll finally exhale and think, okay, now I'm safe. But that moment never arrives on its own. Not because you're unprepared, but because feelings don't measure financial security. Numbers do. Your portfolio doesn't rely on confidence. It relies on math. And once the math shows that your investments can carry the weight of your future, the pressure to save endlessly can finally lift. That is your turning point. Not a birthday, not a headline, not a guess, a number. When your funded ratio is strong, when your portfolio's growth outpaces your contributions, when your lifestyle is stable and your retirement gap is covered, that's the moment you can begin shifting from accumulation to actually living. You don't stop saving because you lost motivation. You stop because you earned the right to. If this helped you understand where enough really comes from, make sure to subscribe. I make videos every week on money clarity, financial psychology, and building freedom with intention. And if you want to go deeper, check out the next video on your screen. It'll help you understand the next stage of your wealth journey. Your future self will thank you for taking this seriously today.